Hello and welcome to Aaron's Creative Concepts. I am your host Aaron, and also the host of Two Labs Garage, where I do all my automotive content. This is just something I'm doing on the side for my non-automotive content. And before I get started, if you would please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to Aaron's Creative Concepts, subscribe to Two Labs Garage. Anyway, I grew up in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area. And one of my favorite Christmas decorations every year was there's this big giant candle over in Norfolk. It was built inside one of the cranes at the NorShipCo Shipyard. Well, as times change and shipyards need to update their tools, that crane got replaced. Candle disappeared. And that, like I said, was my favorite. So, I don't have any 150, 200 foot tall cranes I can make candles out of. I'm going to make a replica of it using what I can, just in memory of it. And maybe some other people that grew up around here will see it and be like, hey, I remember that. It's a lot smaller than it used to be, but nonetheless, this is how I'm going to do it. Well, like I said, I don't have a crane. Most of us don't. So I'm going to use what I have to try to make one. I'm going to try to do this on budget too, and make it so I can store it for the rest of the year. So what I'm using is that old extension ladder. That's a 28-foot extension ladder, which means it's got two 14-foot sections, and I figured that's pretty good. That's a good stalk, stick of a candle, whatever. Flame on top, we're probably talking 17 feet. Hey, 1/10 scale, it's the best I can do. So anyway, did a little bit already because I didn't even know if I was going to film this. But come, I'll show you. Alright, so why I choose to use this particular ladder? Well, I've had it for a while, but also if these hooks and all, it got to the point where it was unsafe. I've had a couple close calls with this ladder, and I bought a new one, so I no longer need this one. So seems like if I'm going to do it with a ladder, I should use this one. The first thing I did was I took and put these hinges on it, the self tappers. I'll show you why. Alright, those hinges allow me to do this. Alright, now I can open it up like so. So now I have a three-sided structure, good enough for a stalk. But also, now I need to put some bracing on the back so it doesn't want to flop all about. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Alright, what you see me holding here is two pieces of 1/2-inch electrical conduit. This is a metal pipe sold in 10-foot sticks, and it's pretty lightweight and it's malleable. I'll show you this side already. You see how it's all flat there? You can pretty easily squish it into a flat form, and you would want to do that so you can attach it to the ladder. And how I did that, I'll show you. Alright, so I'm just going to take a hammer. I'm using an 8-pound sledgehammer, but if you don't have a maul like this, then I think a nail hammer would do the job, but I have this and it's handy. Have it on a hard surface. I actually did the other one on the driveway, but I'm going to do this on the trailer deck. Then the angle iron on the end works a little better. And other end. And there you go. Alright, so now you take your conduit and measure 60 inches from the end, and you want to make sure that your flattened part is flat like this. You want to I say mark off 60 inches, halfway, right there. And hold it so it's flat and put a cross. Make sure you, because you want to drill directly perpendicular to how you flattened it. Alright, so to join them, went looking through my old nuts and bolts, found this old carriage bolt and nut. Not that brand new, but they'll do the trick, and really pretty good use for them. 5/16. I don't know what the thread is, they match. And now, over on the conduit, I've got my cross pattern right there. I'm just going to use a, what is this? A drill bit of a size that's unknown, but slightly bigger than the bolt. And I'm going to bore a hole through the conduit. And the same thing on the other pole. Alright, so now we got the holes through both of them. Find my carriage bolt, slide it through here. And yes, that's a cheap Harbor Freight drill. Is it good? No, not at all. Alright, so take your two poles now and your carriage bolt, plop it through there, plop it through there, and get you some never turn loose juice. And by that I mean thread locker, lactate. The red stuff's known to be the strong one. I'm using blue because blue is what I have. I want that because when I put this nut on, I don't want to tighten it all the way up, because then I'm not going to be able to move my poles like I want to. I want to go on here to where I say and just lock itself on. Once that stuff sets up, it'll be more difficult for it to come out. Not going to say it can't. And now what we have is this. Woo! Yay! This will make a pretty strong cross brace. Alright, now I figure out how to put these on the ladder. So here we go. I've got the ladder set somewhat open on my trailer, using the fender and that wooden box to support it in this open shape, so I can figure out how I want to attach these. If y'all are interested in stuff like the Camaro and the Fairlane in the background, subscribe to my other channel, Two Labs Garage. You'll see that and many more. Look for any kind of interferences, like right here. I've got the old hook. It's easier just to go up or down with the braces rather than try to go around it. So like right here, that's good. And a corresponding hole on the inside frame of the ladder. With this bolt here, this is not permanent. This is just something so it doesn't wander on me. Because if I do use bolts to lock these in, I'm going to use wing nuts for ease of assembly and all, but I got another idea. I just got to run out to Tractor Supply, and well, I'll have a little bit of daylight left, so I'm going to work on this and then go to Tractor Supply later. And likewise, do the same kind of thing on this end. Make sure your cords are plugged in. Alright, just going to plop this one in. It's temporary. Just trying to hold it place. Ooh, that's mighty close to a bad spot. Here, I'll show you. I should have checked more carefully for this. But my flattened area, see how close it is to that rung hole? I mean, I can deal with that, but that's a little close for comfort. Now this one we're golden. Alright, so as you can see, it's sunset. But the name of the game with these bolts or whatever I use to hold these braces on is it needs to be strong, but it also needs to be easy to put on and take off. I got two ideas. One is just a certain kind of pin. If I get it, I'll show it to you. Otherwise, it'll just be a bolt, not a grade 8 or a stainless, just a regular, and a wing nut. And actually, this right here on my trailer tongue, that is the type of pin I was talking about. It won't back out, it snaps over. I just need one a little longer than that, but that's kind of the lines I'm thinking. Alright, so last night, like I said, I went to the hardware store. I got none of the stuff I said I was going to get. I said I wanted something that was easy to get on and off, simple, do it without tools. So I dropped my bag on the ground, and I got carriage bolt and regular nut. Alright, so why didn't I get the clips? Well, I'll show you. Alright, so I was just messing around a little bit before I left, and as you can see, my temporary bolts aren't all the way in. They allow for some slop. I can do this. And since the clips, they're not going to hold it tight. They're going to allow for some floppage. If I can do that much floppage, what's the point? Why do I even have a brace? So, the other thing I said, if that didn't work out, I was going to get bolts, probably hex bolts, and wing nuts. Well, Tractor Supply was that fast it stinks wing nuts. I even looked into stainless, willing to pay the extra money. Didn't have any. And I wasn't looking to drive all over Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, whatever. Just, I was at Tractor Supply, I'm going to get it here, doesn't matter. So I got regular ones. So why I get a carriage where you can't really put a wrench on it too good? Because I wanted full thread. A lot of the longer bolts, like say from here to here, it's all slick. Can't run the nut all the way down. And again, you could get them in hex, but I got what was available. So, carriage bolts. Alright, so I got the bolts on finger tight, and I really kind of like pushed down and turned. But anyway, I mean, that's pretty good right there. So I'm happy with it. I don't know if I really need to put a wrench on these and tighten them anymore. I mean, I might, but I might not. But anyway, the next step is going to be on that end. We got to put a flame on the top. Right now we got a candlestick, but no fire. What's a candle if it's not burning? Alright, so to make the flame, I got 2 more pieces of electrical conduit. I'm sitting here on a pipe vise. Now these things can be pretty pricey. I got this particular one off Marketplace for a song and a dance. So there are deals to be had for them. But if you want to get one of these brand new, it's going to set you back several $100. I think I paid 40 or 50 for this one. So anyway, I got my 2 pieces of conduit marked at 60 inches, 5 feet. Now I need to cut them in 2. Alright, for this you can use a sawzall, a grinder, a hacksaw. Whatever you do, read the owner's manual and follow the proper safety measures. Do as I say, not as I do. Alright, so now we got 4 pieces of pipe. But I'll do 3. Alright, so the other thing I'm going to do here, so the other thing I'm doing here is on this end of the vise, I actually got a few mandrels, which should help me bend this pipe without kinking it. Now they make benders for electrical conduit, cost a lot less, readily available. I'll show you a picture of one. And there's other ways you can make your own mandrels to bend stuff on the vice grip and an old car rim. Who knows? But anyway, just stick my conduit in here. Leave a little flat section. And then just slowly bend it like this. I can't do a little anyway. Not the end of the world. So, from the bend, I want to figure where I want, because this is going to come off the ladder, go in, At one point, all three pieces will cross, and I did some rough measurements, which is all we're doing here. It looks like 10 inches would be about the center of the ladder structure. So I put a 10-inch mark, and there I'm going to put another 10-inch mark, which means nothing. And I'm going to try to bend it back the other way from right here. Well, yeah, I'm just going to kind of use my own judgment. Alright, so I just made a mark about where I think the bend should start, the whole way around the pipe. That's about as far as it'll let me go, so. Alright, maybe a little much. I kind of like the way that looks. Looks like half a flame, and I just need 3 more just like this. Whoa, so 3 pretty daggone good. Alright, so I need to flatten the end. Adjusting camera. And over on this end, I got the bends going straight up. Now this will be the only one I do this on. Yeah, I'd flop it, I'll straighten it up. And we flatten the end. Alright, this one I'm going to kind of hold it like this while I flatten it. And this one just off, so I'm going to flop it that way. And while I'm at it, this side, now all 3 of them will get this. And go straight up and flatten. Alright, so now I've got a 5/16 bit in my drill. I'm going to drill a hole in the top of a flame so I can bolt the 3 pieces together and then on to the next step. Just kind of eyeballing. Now this time I'm going to use a 1/4-inch bolt with 2 washers, and one of them's a little bigger, so this little squared off part of the carriage bolt will sit down. Is that a good idea? I don't know. Maybe I should have used a hex bolt up here, but we got what we got. Gotta take the pieces of the flame and start positioning them. Okay, still not quite looking right, but now bolt these together. Equal 7/16. Drop it on the ground, pick it back up, bring the ladder back. go fasten it there. Just pick a spot. I got my hole drilled in it. And from this ladder's previous life, there's a paint stain here, makes a good visual mark for me. Alright, we bolt through. And yeah, remember, you want, at least I think I do, I want the wide side of the flame crossing over the ladder. Washer, nut, and for now, finger tight. Alright, I'm going to pick this fly rather than this one because the old foot pad, I'm not taking it off and it'll interfere. So. And I'm just using a 1/2-inch deep well to tighten these up. Now, got the flame pieces mounted to the ladder, aka candlestick. And if you're thinking this is one jacked up looking flame, almost like a jacked up looking spire or something, I agree. But this stuff's pretty flexible, so let's fix it. Yeah. Ooh, that sounds so great. Alright, so these two pipes, I'm pretty happy with the way they are. So I'm going to hold them in place with a zip tie. It's that third one I'm not all that happy with. Maybe that's the way you do it. I came up with an idea in my head. Now I'm putting it to practice. And yeah. Not everything's got to go as planned. And it certainly hasn't. Alright, so I'm hoping that will hold it in place enough for me to get this clamp around it. Probably could go with one size bigger on the hose clamp. I don't even know what size this is, it's just what I grabbed. Probably got a bigger one in the garage. Yeah. But anyway, nonetheless, this will work. I got it started. Alright, so now they're pretty good and together. And it's not perfect, but it does look flame-ish. Now the problem I'm having here is my crossbucks are bowing out. And I say problem, maybe an inconvenience is more what I should call this. Because I can pull that out. Gonna take some rope and just tie it right here. Use the bolt to kind of help keep it from sliding. Then I'm going to come over here pull the brace in and then just tie it off. Now, as I said, this is a first for me, never done anything like this. And one thing is I'm going to have to string lights on this. And I'm kind of used to going roundy round when I light stuff up. Looking at the pictures I have found of the candle, which are one, it looks like it's up and down and kind of makes sense for how it was built in a crane. So I'm going to do the lights up and down this. Thing is, on the back section here where we got the cross brace, I don't have any way to string on the up and down. So, remember I had a little piece of scrap conduit earlier? I might use that. I might use something else. Alright, so what I ended up doing is I cut off a section of the leftover conduit, left a little extra long, just zip tied it up here, and the extra length, I mean, birds can perch on it, whatever. And I did the same thing down at the bottom. So now I should be able to start running lights on this, hopefully. Alright, so I'm getting ready to start running the lights on here. So we're going to make it into a candle now. I'm using red LED lights. Looking at my stock, I may have to go to the store and get some more, but at least try to find out where I'm standing. Also to make sure they're working. So I turned side facing the street up because the back will get lights, but these are the sides that will be facing the street. They're the most. That bottom, we put this section right here on the outside. I'm going to take two of these zip ties, get all the way around. Going to put the zip tie between the first and the second one, and below the bottom rung, so as I go up I can pull and it won't turn into an issue, at least we hope. And then just start coming up. So the way things stand right now, I've got the two main sides lit up. The back, not yet. And being honest with you, with the amount of lights I got on it now, I'd probably be okay as far as the red ones. But all of the ends of the cords are at the bottom of the ladder. I need power up there to power the flame. So these, I think these are each 150 watt, or not. I think each one of these is 150 light strings, if I remember right. I've had them a couple of years. My plan is to run 50 light strings up the back, and there'll be two of them, one way, and they will power the flame. I'm going to flip it, be very careful I don't break any bulbs. There. I'm going to do these a little bit differently, as I'm going to start on the top, because I need the plug to fall out in a certain place. The rest of it, I'll improvise. Alright, so there we go, laying over on the trailer. The stick is lit up red. Not bad, I don't think. And for the top, I'm going to use these amber lights. Alright, first I was worried these lights might be a little too dark. A little too orangey, but I don't think so now. I think they're just right. Start wrapping them around this. the flames on it. Red candlestick. Back up a little bit. And it's a little dark tonight, but tomorrow I'm gonna stick it up. So last night, got all the lights on here, got it tested working, pretty well ready to stand up. Thing is, this thing's gonna be very top heavy because this is really, it's designed to be a ladder that props up against something, not freestands. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some ropes on it to tie it down. So use this rope because it's what I can find. Come to about this point. Looks good. Can't tie a knot, tie a lot. What I'm doing is I'm going to the base, coming out here some, pull some extra length, cut it off. Then to try to keep fraying under control, just go put a simple overhand knot on the very end. And just repeat the process on 3 sides. And now, I guess, carry it to the location I'm going to set it up. So just try to find the center of gravity on it. Yep. Alright, so I've determined my location. I think the first thing I really need to do is get some kind of ground anchor in. And for that, I'm going to use a T-post and a post driver. Now you don't have to use a post driver, but let me tell you, it's so much easier when you do. Alright, so that'll do some steadying, not all of it, but it'll leave something to get started. And this rope is from wherever I used it for last time. Why not use it again? Now this is the tricky part, because this is like moving a 36-foot ladder with a flame on the top. That's why all my years in building come in handy, knowing the technique for doing that. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some weight on this thing, try to sink it in the ground a little bit, try to level it up. That's a good start, but that's not nearly enough to hold this. That's how these ropes come into play. I'm going to use these screw anchors into the ground. I never use these for what they're intended for, which is tying a dog up. I think they're unethical, but we're not going to get into that. They do, however, if you've got a tall Christmas decoration, do very well to anchor them in place. Just twist it in the ground like I'm doing now. The open end of valve away from your decoration. Whoa. You gotta be real careful doing this. Because that darn near almost pulled it over just then with that little bit. Do something similar and all your taglines. Tie it down here just to give a little extra support, because while I got confident in the way I've done this, they are predicting some pretty strong winds the next couple days, so don't want anything to happen. And right now this cord is on a timer. I will turn it on manually real quick just to make sure it works. But yeah, the real magic's gonna happen when the sun goes down. Alright, as you can see, I don't know if it'll show up in the camera, everything is working. Just show you. I'll show you. I'll also show y'all this. This is another thing I made back before I had the idea of YouTubing. I might make a second one, show y'all how it's done. I'll also show y'all my Santa truck. I'll leave a link at the end of the video of how I did this. This is a 71 F100, all lit up. Bow on the grill, North Pole license plate, candy canes on the mirror. Got this fella driving. Packages on the toolbox, trays in the bed. More candy canes. Bells under the bumper. And at nighttime this lights up, the brake lights light up. And the inside lights up. And the headlights, I even got them working. And another note about the Santa truck. Those of y'all who are local to the Hampton Roads area and go down to Outer Banks, you ever stop at Moore's Farm Market? Yeah, this used to be one of the trucks that they used for decoration. They had 3 old Ford trucks, and thankfully I was able to save the red and white one, because this one was my favorite. I don't know whatever happened to the yellow one. We won't get into the black one. Anyway, I hope me recreating the Norfolk candle will help inspire some of y'all to maybe recreate some of the old Christmas decorations that you used to know and love, but are gone now, gone and not forgotten. That candle, I have missed that thing, and it took me a little while to come up with the idea of how to recreate it. At first I thought about using like big tall CB radio antennas, like people have base stations at their houses and whatnot, but that's what I came up with, and it's 18 feet tall. I think that's good. But anyway, go out there, be creative. Don't be afraid to mess up. I mean, you mess up, you just learn something. But be safe and follow your heart. And if you enjoyed this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also subscribe to Two Labs Garage, my main channel, where you see all kind of automotive content. Not just this, but so many other things. This is my side channel. I will be posting on here sporadically when I come up with something that's not automotive that I think is interesting, y'all might enjoy. But yes, cars and trucks are my passion. So until next time, be kind to each other, be creative, be safe, and I'll see you again soon.